After discovery of atom and subatomic particles, and no doubt the structure of atom, scientists of that era started discussing about a very important issue. What was that issue? The issue was our periodic table is having 100 plus elements. Only few hundred elements are there. But if I talk about compounds, there are millions of compounds. So many compounds are there. How is it possible that these few elements are forming millions of compounds? What is the reason? And most important, every element is not taking part in the chemical combination in order to form the compound. There are certain elements which are not taking part in chemical combination. They are inert towards the chemical combination. What is the reason? And what is the force, what is the glue that is binding all the atoms together to form a compound? So in order to find the answer of all such questions, we have to get into today's lecture. My name is Kanchan Sharma and I welcome you all to first lecture of chemical bonding and molecular structure. So let's get started. I'll start my discussion with the cause of chemical bonding. Or we can say what is the reason of chemical bonding. Or in fact, I'll start with what is a bond. What is a bond? Bond is that glue which is binding all the atoms together to form a compound. In fact, sometimes there is a bond, sometimes there is only a force of attraction. So we can say that force of attraction is the bond which is binding all the atoms together to form a compound. Now, why does a bond formed? Why all the elements are not taking part in bond formation? What is the reason? The answer of such questions were given by two basic theories. The first one was classical theory. Classical theory. We can say the old theory. This particular theory was proposed near about in 1916. Two scientists, their name was Thomson and Lewis. They put forward this theory and they postulated few things. What they postulated? First postulate of their theory. What they imagined atom as a walnut. They imagined the structure of atom as a walnut. You must be familiar with the walnut. Walnut is having a hard shell outside and the nutty part that we eat inside. They imagine atom in a similar way. They said that in an atom there is an outer shell which is containing electrons. That particular shell is valence shell and the other is inner shell. Now what they said? They said in an atom there is a valence shell containing valence electrons. Now, what was the second postulate? They postulated that only these valence electron, the electrons present in the outermost shell, they are responsible in chemical combination. They are taking part in chemical combination. The inner electron, the electron which are residing inside this valence shell, they are inert. They are not taking part in chemical combination. What they said? They said only valence electrons take part in chemical combination. For example, if I say carbon that is having atomic number 6, what's its electronic configuration? That is 2, 4. It's having 4 electrons in its valence shell and these 4 electrons are responsible for bond formation. Other 2 electrons which are present inside, they are inert. Let me draw it as, these are 2 electrons in the first shell and 1, 2, 3, and this one is 4. These 4 electrons are present in outermost shell, that is valence shell. These 4 are valence electrons, and these 4 are taking part in chemical combination. These 4 are taking part in bond formation. Clear? Now what is the third postulate? Let me see. Third postulate. In the third postulate, they actually explained the reason of certain elements not to take part in chemical combination. What they said? They said, let me talk about noble gases. These are noble gases. If I talk about their electronic configuration is Ns2np6. All of them are having 8 electrons in their valence shell. Now, according to Cosell and Lewis, these 8 electrons means a complete outermost shell, electronic configuration. These 8 electrons is a stable electronic configuration. And they suggested that this 8 electrons in the outermost shell, they suggested it as octet rule. Octet rule. Octet is derived from the word octa, which means 8. And they said these noble gases are inert towards the chemical combination, and the reason is they are stable, and the reason of stability is these 8 electrons in their valence shell. According to them, if anyone is having 8 electrons in its valence shell, that particular is stable. And their last postulate, what they said? They said atoms combine to acquire 8 electrons in outermost shell. Now, how do they acquire? How will they acquire these 8 electrons in their outermost shell? According to Cosell and Lewis, they will acquire 8 electrons in their valence shell by accepting electrons, by losing electrons, and lastly, another scientist, his name was Langmuir. He, along with Lewis, in 1919, he suggested that they may share electron even in order to acquire this 8 electrons in the valence shell. So what they said? They said atom combine to acquire 8 electrons in outermost shell by how many ways? 3 ways, that is accepting electron, secondly losing electrons, and thirdly by Langmuir-Lewis by sharing electrons. So according to them, this is the reason of chemical combination, and this is the reason that these zero group elements, noble gases, they are inert towards chemical reaction, because they said they are having a complete octet, they are having a stability because of these 8 electrons in their valence shell. Now, for a long time people said that this theory is fine, they were okay with the theory, until a new theory, that is modern theory. Modern theory. It came into existence. What is the modern theory? This one is the new theory. Now what does this theory said? Again, the same thing. Atoms are combining in order to get stability. Same thing. Atoms combine. Why they are combining? To acquire what? Stability. Now the question is, what's new? The same thing was said by classical theory. Atoms combine in order to, achieve the stability. What's new? New is they will acquire the stability by lowering their potential energy. They will achieve stability by lowering their potential energy. The state of lowest potential energy is the state of stability. And everyone, even we people want to acquire a stability. Everyone wants to acquire stability. Let me clear my point with a very simple example. Let me have a ring. Let it be ring 1. Other I do have ring 2. For example, if I do have 1 and 2, these two balls in these first and second ring, which one is at a stabler position? Which one is stabler? The one which is present at the bottom. That particular one is more stabler as compared to the one which is present at the top. Why? Because this particular one is having lower potential energy. This particular is having lower potential energy. If I talk about atoms, let me have two atoms here. This particular is A and this particular is atom B. The nucleus of atom A is Na and the nucleus of atom B is Nb. Now they must be having electrons around the nucleus of each atom. Let it be Ea for atom A and Eb for atom B. Now if I talk about these two atoms and I bring these two atoms close to each other, there will be two forces. Two forces will be working on them. What are those two forces? The first one is force of attraction. A force of attraction that is letting them to come closer to each other. This force of attraction is forcing them to come close to each other. Where this force of attraction is working? That is working in between the opposite charges. Where are the opposite charges? The nucleus of A and electrons of B. They were facing a force of attraction. Similarly, nucleus of B and electrons of A, they were also feeling this attraction. Let me say nucleus of A and electrons of B, nucleus of B and electrons of A. They are feeling these attractions. The second force is repulsive force, repulsion. Who is repelling? Who is repelling? The same charges are repelling. Means the nucleus of A and the nucleus of B, they are repelling each other. Electrons of A and electrons of B, they are again repelling each other. When these two atoms are coming close to each other, they will come close to each other until this force of attraction is working on them. They will come close to each other till a certain optimum distance. And that particular optimum distance, let it be this one. This optimum distance, we call it as bond length. Bond length. This optimum distance between atoms is bond length. Now what will happen if they will come more closer to each other than this bond length? The repulsive force, this force of repulsion, that will dominate over this force of attraction. So the potential energy, what is happening in terms of potential energy? Let me show. If I draw a graph between potential energy and R. What is R? R is distance between atoms. The distance between these two atoms is R. Now if I take this R along this x-axis and potential energy along y-axis, you must be familiar with this graph. You must be, seeing this graph in your books. What is the graph? Very important, in fact, very important graph. That is something like this. This particular. What does it show? This particular graph interprets that when two atoms, they are at infinite distance away. Now what is infinite in terms of atoms? Infinite in terms of atom is some 100 centimeters, or we can say some 150 centimeters. That is infinity for these atoms. So when they are at infinite distance from each other, what is potential energy? Potential energy is zero. Now the question is, if potential energy is zero, what's the need to come close to each other? They just want to acquire stability by having lower potential energy. So zero is the lower value. Why they are coming close to each other? They are coming close to each other because as they are coming, see, when the value of R is decreasing, what is happening to this potential energy? That is again decreasing. That will decrease till this particular point. At this particular point, the potential energy is minimum. And this particular optimum distance, we call it as R naught. This is bond length. It's clearly visible to you. When atoms are coming more closer to each other than this bond length, what is happening to the potential energy? That is increasing. Are they acquiring stability by coming more close to each other? No. The potential energy is increasing. And increase in potential energy is not the state of stability. The state of stability is here at this particular optimum distance, which we call it as bond length. So hopefully these things are clear to you. The modern theory and the classical theory, both the theories says atoms are coming close to each other in order to form compound. Why they are coming close to each other? In order to acquire stability. According to classical theory, in order to acquire octet rule. But the theory failed. In certain cases, the case such as SF6PCl5, it just failed. So we came across this modern theory, the new theory, which says these atoms are coming close to each other in order to acquire stability by decreasing the potential energy. So we can say, according to modern theory, atoms combine to form bond for acquiring stability by achieving a state of lowest potential energy. So this is according to modern theory, the reason of chemical bonding. Hopefully the reason of chemical bonding is clear to you according to both the theories. All the best.